All right, Rippers, welcome back. Hey, it's good to see you guys again. Wanted to let you know, I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope your Sunday's going well. I hope you're all getting the things done like I have been. I know I haven't done a few videos for a few days, but we all should really be out there doing the things that we need to do, right? Right now, especially. I have a feeling that the time we put in now is really going to pay off in the near future and the future to come, right? So, of course, the things you've heard every day that you're probably getting tired of hearing, we got to be, looking for ways to be more self-sufficient, looking for ways to put back things, get food, store it long term, all that good stuff that will help us. We're looking to, let's just take SHTF out of the situation, even though this could elevate into a situation like that. I'm just saying, let's look at it realistically. Right now, what we are seeing coming is inflation is raising, probably to hyperinflation. And there are lots of factors for it. There's no one magic bullet that I'm going to come out here and say, look, this is what it is and why, right? Because I'm not like the guy on, what was that, Johnny Carson that could like guess the future or what was in an envelope. No, that's not me. But what I will tell you is what we can obviously see and what we should be reacting to is what we see going on. One, we know prices are going up, whether it's gas, whether it's food, whatever it may be, right? And because of that, if we look back at our grandparents and great-grandparents, they lived life not only being self-sufficient, but also they prepared for hard times, right? Not for SHTF or any of that, because way back then, that maybe wasn't as big a fear. It was just plain old life, right? Hard times happen and they go away, right? We need to be able to span a period of time the best we can to stave off the price increases, inflation, possible natural disasters that may happen, right? Just anything, including surprises like this. Here, I got a little bad news for you. Look here. See what happened? That's right. My cooktop went kaput, and it goes all the way across. Now, here's something I'll say, and it's a skill that's, you usually get with age or time. I'll say it's a skill because it certainly will help you in the future the sooner you can do it. And that's being able to take a minute, count to 3, 10, or 100, whatever you need to do. Take a deep cleansing breath and be able to say, that's okay. We'll figure it out. Everything is fixable and everything is surmountable, right? Never think it isn't, right? And I didn't do that, of course, but it doesn't matter who did it, right? We had a pressure cooker here and we were having a family meal. And for once I didn't have to cook. Yoo! And when we came down to bust the chicken apart, well, that was in from the freezer, right? Because we're rotating things. Aim was a little insufficient. And you know what? That's okay, right? I'm not going to get mad at anyone. Why? That won't make the situation easier. It won't change it and it won't fix it, right? And if with luck, maybe, because the burners still work, while I'm not really comfortable with using it too much broken like this, because I don't know much about what's underneath here yet, this glass top, but I will say this, it does work. We can use it, so I can cook. That's a good thing, right? We're looking for the positives. And all the burners tend to work, right? And I'll figure out how it works, and I may just be able to get lucky enough to replace the glass. But then again, we may replace the cooktop. It's old, right? It's been here a while. And there's probably better models that probably cook better. This one wasn't the greatest when it comes to heat regulation, right? So that's just something to think about. Budget's really going to make that choice for us, quite honestly. But what I will say is this, being able to take a deep breath, step back from all the doom and gloom, step back from the incidents that happen. And this is just proof that when you think everything's going good or it's not going good, something more will be added, right? Sometimes that timing is real poor, like right now, right? And with everything going on especially. But sometimes that timing is just coincidental, right? And you're able to take care of it easy. But you got to prepare as if it's going to happen at the worst moment, right? And then you got to be able to have the mindset to say, oh, that's okay. I still love you, and everything's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Let's have a good meal. Let's have some fun, and let's fix it, right? So we'll figure it out. So that being said, take those little nuggets of, I don't know if you want to call them wisdom or not, because I don't necessarily consider myself wise or especially knowledgeable or professional in anything. But I have had lots of life experiences, both ups and downs, good times and bads, lots of money and no money. So that being said, well, it's easier, I guess, to look at things from a different viewpoint once you've had that. So if you want to take that advice to be able to just take challenges as they come and not let them stress you out and prepare for the hard times, then I promise you, you're going to be ahead of the game. Woohoo! Anyway, so let's talk about something fun. Now, here we're getting ready out here. Now, usually in Oregon, our growing season is not quite yet, right? Because we can have frost here as late, and I've been stung by this before. Planting early, getting excited because every February we have 2 weeks of warm weather, and I get excited and I start doing things and have my sprouts out, and then the freeze comes, boom, and they all die, or a lot of them die, and all that hard work flushed down the toilet. So now's the time, usually from basically 1st of March till the 1st of April, when I start thinking about prepping things, because honestly, we can have a freeze here as late as April and sometimes into May, right? But those ones you can kind of protect against if you know they're coming, right? So pay attention to your weather report. But right now, and I might be a smidge behind my normal schedule, but there's been a lot going on, let's face it, right? So don't be too hard on yourself if you're behind or you feel overloaded, because you know what? That's okay. That's life, right? If you start late, that's okay too, right? Just get started, right? So that's what we're going to do here. We're starting to get ready and see, and you guys will see in future videos coming up, what made it through the winter from the buckets that I didn't break down and stuff like that in the garden and the cleanup I should have done probably before the winter really hit, even though we haven't had a harsh one, because honestly, Oregon hasn't had much snow or rain all winter up till now. And lately, the last month at least or two have been sunny as all get out, and very little rain or cold weather, which makes me wish I'd have started early, but at the same time, I didn't want to get stung, right? So being smart, right? Because you got to conserve resources. So that being said, I think I'm doing all right, and I'm not going to be hard on myself, and neither should you, right? So that being said, you're going to see what made it through the winter, and I think you'll be amazed, because I surely am. I'll give you one hint. One, I didn't expect to make it because I didn't bring it in, but because it did, it might actually be a good thing, because anything that did make it is going to be a hardened plant that I'm going to get seeds from. And there's a whole lot out there. You guys will be excited. And one of them was my blueberry bush. At least one of them so far. I'm hoping my raspberry, which should do okay because it's a cold weather thing, and the other blueberry bush made it okay too. But it's out there. It looked kind of dead, but it sprouted a bunch of leaves, and woohoo! I'm going to throw some water to it now. So that being said, here's some water right here. No, it's not going to the garden outside. This is for doing a little tip that I'll show you guys. Last year, I started my sweet potato sprouts because I learned that they had to be done from slips, which are basically sprouts that come from a sweet potato, right? You can't just bury it like a tater and home run, right? Like you guys saw last year that I did. These are a little bit more. So last year I started late enough because I didn't have any slips until somebody gave me some. And they started to form sweet potatoes, but they were small and purple, if you remember right, because they just didn't have the time they needed to grow, and probably the heat wave stunted them. So that being said, I'm going to get my slips started early. I've already got some that are underway, but I want to show you how to do it because I'm doing more in hopes that I can get a lot more out of sweet potatoes. Because honestly, sweet potatoes like this one right here, this has been in the house for I don't know how many months, in a cool, dry place, and it's just fine. It's not withering. It's not rotting. I mean, this is a food that just by itself can be kept even without any effort, and can be kept longer with effort in just a bowl, right? So that's what's amazing about it, and it's a good food source, right? So that being said, I lopped off the ends, and why is what you're looking for is like this right here. I'll show you. You're looking for these little sprouts like this that are starting up on the ends. Those are like nibs, just like on, or whatever you want to call them, tits or whatever. But you can see them starting up around here, just like on a potato, except these are actually your slips, and they're getting started. So what you want to do is you want to take and poke some toothpicks in it, just like this. And you guys have probably seen this 100 times. And then you want to place it in water, just like that, right? The toothpicks help keep it up. Get your toothpicks up a little bit higher so that it sits lower in the water, because the slips that start down in the water and work their way up and grow into a little plant thing also shoot the roots down fast enough. And as these things grow, I'll show you the nodes you want to be looking for so that you can get these things planted and rooted and then planted even better, right? So right now, what I will say is the water you want to put them in is you want water that's not from the tap, especially if you're in an area that has a high chlorine content and really doesn't have great water, so they're really pounding it at the treatment plant, right? You want to have something that ran through a filter if you can, right? Or just buy a $1 or 89-cent jug of, who knows how much it is now, cent jug of water at the store that's spring water or purified water, right? Not distilled, but those others, and put your sweet potato in this like this. Now, I will show you as this starts to sprout. Now, I'm going to go put it in either a window where it gets some sun, but not direct sun, but get some good sun, or I'm going to put it outside on the patio, which is probably what I'm going to do, and where it gets some indirect sunlight in the garden area, right? And as this slips, I'm going to pull the slips off, root them even better, and then stick them in dirt, and we're going to have some good sweet potatoes like this, woo, this year, right? Right. Okay, so get your sweet potatoes. Just go to the store, buy one, kind of wash it down real good, right? Or if you already have one sitting around, and it started to sprout like that, get her started just like this. That way you can have sweet potatoes too. So we're going to try it in a container, and we may even put a couple slips in the main bed to see if it'll grow into, in with the other things that are in there, so that basically I can have other plants like my lettuce or tomatoes or radishes or whatever I put in there, peppers, that kind of thing growing, and these will grow into the deeper part of the bed, right? So that when I pull all the other plants and the last thing I can harvest is my sweet potatoes, I should be able to dig down and find me some real good ones. Who knows? Maybe it'll infest the whole giant bed. How bitchin' would that be, right? Yeah, that's right. I said bitchin'. So get out there. Oh, and if you have any comments or what do you think about putting it in the main bed to grow in a, I don't know what you call that. And if you know, put it in the comment section. But when you grow things in amongst other things that all kind of grow together nicely, that's kind of the word I'm looking for. So if you got a technical word for that, help make me smarter. And I appreciate it, right? Because that's what we're here for, is sharing information and helping each other get past these hard times, right? Right. So let's get prepared for whatever may come, right? And always be safe and secure and aware of your surroundings, especially these days if you heard what happened in Sacramento. And if you haven't, run a search on it. But in case, it's another one of those bad things that makes them want to come get our pew-pews, when really the problem is much different than that. That will never solve it. So that being said, that's all I'll say about that. And I'll say get prepared, be aware, well, if you have it, wear it. And if you wear it, practice with it. Get good. Help save some lives, right? Until next time, adios.